Afternoon, class. My name is Camila Noriega, and today I'm going to be talking about Alice Walker. Biography. Alice Walker is an American writer, poet, and activist best known for the novel The Color Purple. She was born on February 9, 1944, in Eatonton, Georgia. She came from a poor black farming family in the American South, and her upbringing had a major influence on her writing because she experienced firsthand issues with racism, poverty, and gender inequality. She was accidentally blinded in one eye, so her mother had given her a typewriter, allowing her to write. She would do this instead of chores. She grew up in a dysfunctional family dynamic as she had to go live with her grandparents, and her grandfather had an alcohol problem. She was heavily involved in the civil rights movement, often marching for the movement, as well as won a Pulitzer Prize for her writing. Why did I choose this author? I chose Alice Walker because she is a well-known author whose work is widely studied in schools because her writing addresses important social issues that are still relevant today. Her stories are emotional, powerful, and meaningful, and they also help understand perspectives that are different from our own. They come out in a very powerful and emotional way that align with so many others and also continue to represent African American women's experiences. Historical and cultural context. Alice Walker's formative experiences include poverty, racial discrimination, and life in the rural American South, which all profoundly shaped her literary voice and thematic focus. Her work frequently centers on Southern life during this historical period. She wrote during a major time of social change for America. The civil rights movement was challenging laws and systems of segregation, especially in the southern United States. Though, even after legal changes, racism and inequality still deeply affected everyday life. She was really focused also on gender inequality, especially the roles and limitations placed on women in traditional society. Her writing highlighted how Black women often face both racism from society and sexism from their own communities. Her writing is deeply informed by the rich traditions and historical realities of African American culture as well. This is all thoughtfully weaved into her narratives. Some of Alice Walker's major works include The Color Purple, which is heavily renowned and um, really popular as it was recently adapted into a movie, as well as The Third Life of Grange Copeland, which is her first or her debut novel, and In Search of Our Mother's Gardens. Why her work matters. Walker's writing is important because it gives a voice to people who are often ignored in literature, especially Black women in the rural South. Her work highlights themes of struggle, resilience, and perseverance in the face of adversity. In a contemporary context, her work remains especially relevant, offering a compelling lens to understand African American history. The Color Purple, in particular, is powerful because it shows how a woman can grow from silence and oppression into independence and self-expression. This novel won a Pulitzer Prize for Fiction in 1983. It is one of the highest honors in American literature, which shows its impact and how it still continues to impact our society today. Walker's writing style is very unique. She uses simple, direct language, often written in dialect, which makes her characters feel real and authentic. Even though the language is simple, the themes are very deep. She focuses on emotional truth, personal struggle, and survival. Many of her stories show characters overcoming trauma and learning how to find their own voice. A key theme in Walker's work is inequality, especially gender inequality. In The Color Purple, the main character, Celie, experiences abuse and is treated as powerless. However, over time she begins to find strength and independence. Walker also emphasizes resilience, showing how people can survive and grow even after suffering. One example that shows Walker's style and themes comes from the beginning of The Color Purple, where Celie describes her experiences with abuse and fear. She explains how she feels powerless and how she tries to mentally protect herself from pain. This reflects Walker's focus on survival and the psychological effects of oppression. And that is all for today. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. And this is my bibliography.